Welcome to another edition of the Stephen A. Byers Show. I am your host, Stephen A. Byers, and we have a lot to get into today. You picked a great day to tune in to this episode. We got a lot we have to uncover and unpack on today, so we got a full show for you all today. So let's go ahead and jump into the recap of what took place during this week in the Kingdom Boys Fantasy League Association. So let's start with a recap with Coach Burks taking on Coach Benson. You know what's up, defeated I Got Next by a score of 138-107. And we saw Kareem Hunt have the game of his life. He scored 44 points that propelled Coach Burks over the top. And they was looking unstoppable against their sorry, trash Dallas defense. And so they helped Coach Burks to defeat I Got Next with Kamara giving him 44, and then also Devontae Adams chipping in 26 against a stingy Baltimore defense. Nobody saw that coming, and they defeated them 138-107. Also, for I Got Next, you saw Devontae Smith give you 20 and Jalen Hurts to give you 25. So that was the game high on that side. Next up, we had Bank on there taking on Dress Me as King. We had a rivalry game. We had a division game. These two have been talking a lot of smack since draft day, and we was ready for this showdown. And we saw Bank on it defeat Dress Me as King 136-117. We saw Metcalf have his breakout game. He scored 28 points. And then also Achane was able to get in 29, even in the midst of Tua going down. And he defeated Dress Me as King. And the Dress Me as King game high, saw Breece Hall have 24. And we also saw his kicker with 20, which is amazing. But there's sometimes, that's just how the cookie crumbles. Kicker give you 29 times out of 10. You like, oh man, that's good, I might win. But not in this case. Bank on it defeats Dress Me as King. And then also, we saw 10 Peach No Sauce squeak out a win against Coach K. This was a great game all the way down to the finish. Both teams was battling out the whole day. And we saw 10 Peach No Sauce improve to 2-0. He had a lot of injuries that happened, but he was able to pull out a win of 111-107. And we saw that the game high for him was Rashee Rice and Gibbs with 17, but it was a complete team effort. They all played their part in helping him win. And we saw the game high for Coach K was St. Brown with 22 points. And you saw Joe Burrow pitch in and give him 21, but it wasn't enough as they lose to 10-piece No Sauce. Next up, we had the Underdogs getting their first win in the league. They beat the dangerous ones, so we was high on last week, but they kind of hit a wall. He squeaked out a win last night. 123-118. We saw the trade that he made pay off. Nico Collins gave him 27, and Zay Flower pitched in with 22 as the game highs for the Underdogs. And then also we saw Chris Godwin continue his dominance he's been doing all year so far with 24 points, and Lamar pitched in and gave him 18, but it wasn't enough as they lose to the Underdogs, and the Underdogs get their first win. So congratulations to Coach Spann. Last but not least, we have the Godfather Fantasy taking on Real Problem. It was a division game, I think, but it was 163-115. The Godfather Fantasy continued his dominance in this league. Game high, Marvin Harrison Jr. had his breakout game with 29 points. And James Cook come around and get 28 as well with 3 touchdowns as they defeat a Real Problem was Jefferson, even though he went out with an injury. He scored 23 points. He was on a record-pacing day because he probably would have got 30 or 40 points if it wasn't for the injury. And then Kittle chipped in 20 points as well. And so that moves us to our power rankings. This week is definitely different. We told you before, the list is fluid, but it's real and it's honest. So we're going to start with number 10, I Am a Real Problem. They come in at number 10, as I said earlier. They lost to the Godfather Fantasy this week. And so they'll be looking to get their first win again this week. But they're 0-2, and they come in at number 10 just because the roster is not constructed well. This team really don't have a lot of hitters. And then also, Coach McGee going to have to pull a trick out of his hat to really get this team back on page. I don't see no way that this team will win anything, honestly. But he told me he would maybe eat those words last week, and he's still chewing on those very things that I said because I don't see this team doing anything better. Next up, we got I Got Next. He's also 0-2. And just a lot of bad trading that kind of ruins his team. CeeDee Lamb gave him 19, who we traded a lot of his main pieces for. And so he have a lot of work he got to do, but he got a good roster, and if he would just move some pieces here and there, he'll be fine. I believe. Like I said, he's a defending champion, he's a Super Bowl champion, so he should know how to work it out. But right now, it's not looking good, and his schedule will continue to get harder. So he have to make a move, and he got to figure it out quick. Coming in at number 8 is Address Me as King. I want to say this first. I want to apologize to all my fans and to Coach Paul Perkins, Address Me as King. I did not mention him last week. I don't know how I skipped over him, so I want to personally apologize to him on camera for our viewers. So I apologize to you. I hope you accept my apology. But they come in at number 8, Address Me as King, 0-2, the defending Super Bowl champ. He is the defending Super Bowl champ of the Kingdom Boys Fantasy League, and right now he's in the world of trouble. His schedule is getting tougher. He got the Godfather Fantasy next week, and he's without his main hitter, Deebo Samuel. If them running backs do not come alive, this team have no shot of winning anything. So he need those running backs to come alive. He need those Sam Laporta have to step his game up to a whole nother level if they have a shot at winning anything. And not just the Godfather Fantasy, but against anybody, because right now they're scoring low. The scoring is not up to par to the standards we're used to seeing from the defending champ. So they have to come on up if they want to make some noise in this league, because I have talked to Coach Perkins, and he would not be in the last 2, he said, but right now it's looking like that. And this might be the first time in our fantasy league history where the last 2 defending champs have not won a game through the first 2 weeks. This might be the first time in history this has happened. So let's keep our eye on it. Let's keep our eye on Address Me as King. Let's see what some moves he will make, or let's see what some lineup, because he left a lot of points on the bench. If he would have played Calvin Ridley, if he would have played some of those players, he might would have won this week. But again, you got to make sure that you make the right coaching subs. That will make a great fantasy team. So let's see if Address Me King can do that. But he got a big game this week going against the Godfather family, which is another division game. He's already lost a division game, and he's 0-2. So if he loses this, the chances of him making the playoffs or even staying in this league is not looking good. Coming in at number 7 is Coach K. Coach K lost in a nail biter to 10-piece no sauce, but he's getting hit with the injury bug as well. The injury bug is going around. We'll get into it later in the show, but he has a lot of work he needs to do. He needs players to step up and be consistent, and they have to score more points. This team cannot score a lot of points, but if they're going to win, he's going to have to score tons of points. And so let's look to see if Coach K can bounce back. Let's look to see if he can pick up the right pieces. One thing we know about him, he's a phenomenal coach when it comes to acquiring talent, to finding talent. He knows what players hit. He's a real analyst, a student of the game. So let's keep our eye on Coach K, but he's at a pivotal situation during this time. Coming in at number 6 is the Underdogs. They pick up their first win, defeating the dangerous ones. They beat them this week, and Coach Muspan made a trade that worked out in his favor. People questioned the trade. The league was going into frenzy. It was so many league conference calls. They wanted to know what was going on. Is the Godfather and the Underdogs, are they working together? If they're in cahoots? But this trade turned out to be a perfect trade for him. This trade helped him get the win that he got. So hats off to Coach Span for standing his ground, believing in what he believed in. He said he had a vision, so he's working his vision. But congratulations to them. They got a good team over there, but like I said before, he will have to make a couple more moves if he really want to be a Super Bowl contender. Right now, he might be playoff bound, but that's for us to see. This team still haven't scored a lot. They haven't showed us that they can really score with the best of them, so we'll keep our eyes open for that. Next up is Bank On It. Number 5, he coming in at number 5, Bank On It. He's 1-1. He defeated Address Me as King. Rivalry game, division game. These two been talking noise since the beginning, and he took out Coach Perkins and Address Me as King this week. So he's sitting at 1-1. His team's looking good. He's also dealing with the injury bug, especially the injury to Tool, which I don't think would affect Devon Achane, because Devon Achane run and he catches at the backfield. So he'll be a safety net, and he's an explosive player. So we'll look to see how Coach Banks can maneuver on that waiver wire or through trade, however he do it. But they're coming in at number 5. Number 4, we got the dangerous ones. Like I said earlier, they lost a tough game to the Underdogs in the upset victory for the Underdogs. But this team come in at number 4. Again, they're 1-1. They got a good team. They got good scoring. The reason I didn't put them below the Underdogs, even though they lost to them, is because it was a nail-biter win. Could have went either way. So I don't think that the underdogs are the better team. I just think they won the game because of some things that happened with the Dangerous Ones. But I'm going to tell you this, like I said last week, the Dangerous One doesn't scare me at all. It's not a shock that they lost either. But at the same time, I think just a little bit better. So who knows? This list can change at any time. Coming in at number 3 is 10 Piece No Sauce. They're undefeated. They're knocked off again. I got next. They knocked off them. No, I'm sorry, they didn't play them. I'm sorry about that. They beat Coach K. They beat Coach K. I apologize. So they beat Coach K and squeaked out a win. And this team has been making it with various of injuries. The roster construction is not the best right now. A source told me that Coach Fred was looking to make some moves. He's trying to get some moves happening with the roster. He's not really happy about the roster, but he'll take the 2-0 start. So let's just keep an eye on look on what he's looking to do. But right now his team is sitting at number 3 at 2-0. Number 2 is You Know What's Up. This team defeated I Got Next 138-107. Like I said, Kamara came alive for this team. Kamara looked really great. Devontae Allen looked really great, but he also have hit the injury bug. Cooper Kupp will be out a couple of weeks. He doesn't really have a good tight end. His tight end only gave him 2 points out the waiver wire. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's dropped already from the roster. So we got to see what moves he'll make. And then we'll go for J.K. Dobbins. Have been a phenomenal steal for him, and we'll get into that later in the show because we got some different sections we'll do. And then coming in at number 1 is the Godfather of Fantasy, which is yours truly. We're sitting at 2-0. We just scored the high the last 2 weeks. We're a deep loaded team. I think it's some things we can also definitely strengthen in, can get better in. And so I'll be looking to make some roster moves and things like that. But we're looking really good. We got a division showdown with Addressman's King, so we're looking forward to that. But I am also dealing with an injury bug. Again, Christian McCaffrey will be out for God know who. A.J. Brown hit the injury report on Saturday, I think it was, Friday or Saturday. He hit the injury report, so they put me down another receiver. But Cook came alive this week, 3 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr. had his breakout game this week. And so Trey McBride did phenomenal. Connor did phenomenal. So they did a really good job helping us to remain number 1 and also have another high-scoring week, being a high-scoring team in the league. So those are your power rankings 1 through 10. And so let's get into what's going on around the league because it's a lot of injury bugs that's happening. Every team has been hit with injury bugs. So we talked about Deebo Samuel. We just found out that he'll be out a couple of weeks. Cooper Kupp heading to IR. You got Jake Ferguson. I think he's working. He's day-to-day coming back. Kenny Walker, I think he hit the injury report last week. He did not play. So we're monitoring his status to see what's going on. So it's a lot of teams. I think every team in our league has been hit with an injury bug this week. I think Pacheco is heading to IR as well. I think he got an injury. Mixon, I think, has an injury. And so it's a lot of people that are dealing with injury bugs in our league this week. So we're looking forward to see how we will be, the coaches and the teams will be maneuvering to see what they're going to be doing to help their team get up to the next level. And then let's just talk about some of the disappointments this week because there was a lot of disappointments that's happened. And I would first want to start with Coach K team. You know, coming in, his team was ranked very high, preseason favorite, one of the preseason favorite teams. But once again, just hitting the injury bug and people not performing. Like I said, St. Brown did great today. Burrow did great this week. Burrow did good, but the rest of the team failed to perform. We don't know what's going on with Mark Andrews and the Ravens with their offense. It's still like they're finding themselves, so we really don't know what's going on there. So keep your eye out for that because Mark Andrews has been going downhill. I think he scored 11 this week. But let's just keep our eye on that Monday situation because he was very high on the draft board for Coach K, and that's a real disappointment. But the biggest disappointment of the week is the injury bug. Everybody's going down with injuries, and these ain't just Rudy-Poo players. These are major stars that is going down with injuries that's affecting the whole league, affecting the team. So now it's going to show the waiver wire pickup skills within the coaches of the league. They're going to have to figure out what they need for the team, who's the best option for the team, and hopefully they hire in the waiver order that they can get those teams. So let's talk about, in my opinion, we got a couple questions that were sent to us from different people in the league. So the first question we got was, do you think the last 2 Super Bowl champs will finish last? That's a very good question. I don't know right now as it looks. I would say one of them probably will finish last, but they both have star players on their team that can take them over the top a couple games. And then we got some rosters that's honestly just not good in our league. So they can sneak out of their last two and come up some. But as of right now, this very second, I believe one of them will. The one I believe that probably will do it will probably be I Got Next. Just looking at the roster, just looking at what everything is going on. I don't know how he's going to come out of this. He really have no trade pieces. And if he do trade, he has to get a buckle players for a superstar. So we got to see what Coach Benson is thinking about it. I know he's frustrated. I know he's like, man, what can I do? So he's figuring out something, but he's a Super Bowl champion. Hopefully that experience will help him through this situation that he's dealing with. So I don't know. I don't think the last two Super Bowl champs will finish last. I think one of them will, and the one I would choose will be I Got Next. Next question we got in from Tampa, Florida is, can you know what's up survive the injury bug that have occurred to his team? I don't know. That's a very good question. Cooper Kupp was a big part of that offense. He won without Cooper Kupp this week, but again, his schedule is light in the beginning and it gets harder as it goes. So I don't know if he will be able to do that. He has the pieces. He has talent on his roster, so he can definitely win any given Sunday. So I think he can survive it. I think he can do enough to make the playoffs for sure, and probably finish top in his division because the division is not strong down there. So he can probably finish top of his division. So yeah, I think he can survive the injury bug. It just depends on how Coach Burst moves. But one thing we do know, one thing we have seen this year as well as in the past, is his coaching skills is not the best. We have seen that. So let's see if he can make some changes and prove us wrong. But we know that if it was Coach of the Year award, he will finish last every year. So let's just see what that look like. Another question coming in from Memphis, Tennessee. Is the Godfather set to reclaim the throne? Well, that's the plan. That is the plan for me, to reclaim the throne. But it's a lot of good teams out here. And like I said, the injury bug happens to anybody. It's happened to me. I'm without my two top players, which is A.J. Brown and Christian McCaffrey. So it just depends, man. It's any given Sunday, literally. My plan is to reclaim the throne. My plan is to defeat everybody that's standing in front of me. But anything can happen. My job is just to put my team in the best situation to win. So hopefully I can reclaim the throne. That's the goal. The goal is to reclaim the throne. And I'm going to be throwing a parade. Everybody's welcome to come from all over. So make sure 5270 Riverdale, that's what we're going to be. We're going to be throwing a parade on the parking lot. Last question we got. Who is the biggest sleeper so far? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I'm going to say this. If I had to choose one sleeper, it would be J.K. Dobbins. J.K. has been consistent. I'm pretty sure he went below round 11 or 12. He's been consistent. I think he's averaging like 20, 22, 23 points through the first 2 weeks. I mean, it's still early, but right now, as of right now, if you ask me the question, it's probably going to be J.K. Dobbins for me. He's been a stud. He's been a stiller. He's been a winner. He's the sleeper right now of the year so far. So it's a long season. Anything can happen, but he would be my biggest sleeper so far. And so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's another edition of Stephen A. Byers. Make sure you like, comment, share. We would love to hear from our fans on this show, on this YouTube channel. So we would love to hear from you. And remember, man, always comment, always stay engaged with us because we want to engage with you all. So until then, I am your host, Stephen A. Byers. This has been another edition of Stephen A. Byers Show, and I look forward to seeing you later. Peace.